Thank you for joining us for this Orientation to Precepting video, brought to you by the University of Kentucky College of Pharmacy. In this video, we will cover the most important aspects of what you can expect as a preceptor of the Introductory Experiential Education in Pharmacy, or IPPE, Longitudinal program. This program was formerly known as LEAP, but has been rebranded to ensure all participants realize it is part of the IPPE curriculum. The student learning objectives of the IPPE longitudinal rotation are twofold. First and foremost, while they are on rotation with you, we hope they will be able to participate in small components of the pharmacist patient care process alongside you. They should be able to assist in collecting small pieces of information from patients or their caregivers, helping you assess that information, helping you develop a plan, implementing the plan, and then following up on the patient care plan. And second, we know that these opportunities will allow our students to develop their personal and professional skills even further. As they observe you in action, they will begin to become the professional pharmacists that they long to be. So let's talk about the time commitment. For each IPPE longitudinal rotation, the students must complete 20 hours of on-site time. The semester is split into a Block A and Block B, each spanning 7 weeks of time during the semester for them to complete those hours. Students should reach out to you several weeks in advance of the rotation to mutually find times that are workable for both parties to schedule those 20 on-site hours. We have proactively looked at the days and times you have given us for your availability and have compared that to the student required and elective course schedule to schedule a student with you who also has mutual availability with you, at least 4 to 5 hours per week of common availability. We have advised the students to be very flexible and workable, as you have been very gracious in hosting them at your site. After the full rollout of the IPPE longitudinal program, we will have 4 different IPPE-L experiences for each individual student. Those will begin in the fall of the PY2 year and continue all the way through 4 semesters through spring of PY3 year. Prior to the students starting their LEAP rotation, we do hold a mandatory orientation here at the College of Pharmacy for students. This is held during the fall semester of the second year prior to their first LEAP rotation. As a preceptor, you can expect the students to reach out to you to initially provide their contact information and an introduction approximately 2 weeks prior to the start of their rotation. The primary purpose of this reach out is to begin the scheduling process with you. Additionally, all students will be following the onboarding procedures and completing the pre-rotation requirements for your site in advance of your rotation beginning. So what can these PY2 and PY3 LEAP students do in your practice site? So in our first year of our curriculum, we have a fairly intentional method of making sure that the students have been checked off in the patient care lab as having been competent at a basic level with a variety of different patient care activities. So even though they might not be able to take complete ownership, they should be able to assist and not be surprised to assist with taking med histories or counseling patients or providing immunization services. In the first year of our curriculum, all of our students have been deemed as competent in providing immunizations as well. We wanted to provide you with a more thorough look of where the IPPE longitudinal rotations fit into the PharmD curriculum. First, I want to call your attention to the gray bar running across the bottom that says PACE 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That is the 6th semester laboratory course sequence where the students will practice their skills in a simulated environment and be checked off on such skills as patient counseling, taking a medication history, or administering vaccinations. So the IPPE longitudinal rotations are a component picking up in the PACE 3, so starting there at the beginning of the fall semester for PY2 year. And those continued for those final 4 semesters of the didactic curriculum. I also want to call your attention to where our IPPE ambulatory and IPPE institutional rotations exist. Those are there in the turquoise vertical bar that fall at the end of the PY1 semester. So after the PY1 year, that summer they go out into an ambulatory pharmacy for 3 weeks and an institutional pharmacy for 3 weeks. During those rotations, the students learn how a medication gets all the way from a prescription to order fulfillment and have practiced and been a part of those environments. In the IPPE longitudinal program, we want to build upon those foundational skills that the students got in IPPE ambulatory and IPPE institutional, and we want to take those on into direct patient care skills in an authentic environment that match up with the types of things that they're doing in the patient care lab. So we want them to be with you, observing the things that you do with direct patient care. We would like them to participate in things like rounding, patient counseling, interprofessional communications, participating in interventions, vaccinations, things that give them the opportunity to interact directly with the patient and the team. So for managing student schedules on experiential, we use the experiential learning management system called CORE or Core Elms online. And on this online system, you will have access to a variety of different things, including your student schedule, to know which students have been assigned to you and their contact information. You'll also have access to Preceptor guides and resources. As you can see here on the right-hand side, there is a Preceptor guide specifically regarding the LEAP program, as well as other Preceptor guides for our other experiential courses. You can view the student assignments that they will be completing on their own while they're with you or as homework. And then through this system, you'll also be using this to complete your final evaluation of the student. While the students are completing their 20 hours of their LEAP experience, they will have a few student assignments. The good news for you is that they will be turning those in back to the College of Pharmacy for us to grade here, but we want you to be aware of these assignments so that you can possibly provide guidance and assistance as they are trying to pick the correct assignment that matches with the types of patients you have in your environment. So we do have all of our assignments that they'll be working on are centered around the pharmacist patient care process, so the PPCP, so we call them the PPCP assignments. Students have a menu of, I believe at this point we're up to 10 or 11 different assignments that focus on allowing them to showcase how they have helped collaborate on patient care or document patient care or what they've done in regards to vaccination. We don't anticipate that the students would do all of these things in one rotation, so they only have to pick 2 assignments out of the menu that they have available to them. So they will complete those 2 assignments and submit them back to us. This really is to be student driven. The students should determine on their own which assignments. You may never hear about them, but if they come to you and ask you which assignments, we wanted you to have this information so that the student can pull these up for you and you can provide guidance. They do pertain to some sort of a patient care activity, and they may require access to patient health information in order for the student to be able to complete the assignment. They would do that they would submit that back to us in a de-identified manner. But your assistance in helping facilitate this is greatly appreciated. Students will also be submitting a final reflection in addition to these pharmacist patient care process assignments. As a preceptor, if you would like to assign additional journal club readings, topic discussions, patient presentations, or other things to enrich your LEAP experience, we have also told the students that this is something they could potentially expect. So feel free to really bring them into your environment and give them some extra homework assignments in between times on site if you would like to do that. So evaluating the student at the end of the process. So both the students and preceptors will complete a final evaluation through the online Core Elms system. And really this is just a formative student feedback. So as I mentioned, the LEAP is a component of the Patient Care Lab or PACE course. The PACE course in and of itself is a pass-fail course. So you as a preceptor are not going to be asked to assign a student a grade. You will just be scoring the student on various elements that link back to the learning objectives as to how they're progressing and providing them feedback. We would also encourage you on the final day that you're with that student to provide them with verbal tips on how they might improve and strengthen their learning process, or different areas that they could work on for their own growth and development. The students, as I mentioned, will also be completing an evaluation of their preceptor and their site, and at the end of the year, those will be released back to preceptors in an aggregate report. This slide provides some actual screenshots of the evaluation that you will be using to score your student. If you are a resident who is serving as the preceptor, your residency program director or designee at your site will be able to forward you a link so that you'll be able to complete this evaluation of your student yourself, so that it could go directly into the system. Even without a login, you'll be able to do that. So as you can see here, you will be rating the student on a 7-point scale, from 1 being not at all competent all the way through 7 being exceedingly competent. So you'll be rating them on those patient care process types of skills in direct patient care. Now, these are second and third year students, and we have also coached them to not expect that every grade is going to be a 7 across the board, that we don't expect them to be exceedingly competent in all of these patient care tasks. Instead, we would recommend that you anchor that your average student should be around a 4, which would be meets expectations, and then really reserve those higher than 4 markings, those gradings, for your students who are actually excelling in certain areas, so that we get a true picture of these students. If you are having concerns that they are not meeting expectations and that they're not competent, we do ask that you provide us some additional comments so that we can help that student improve. Once again, this will not impact their grade in any shape, form, or fashion, because this is going to roll up into a pass-fail course. We'll also have the opportunity to score their communication skills with patients, other preceptors, residents, APPE students, and other healthcare providers. And then you'll get an opportunity to give them feedback on those professionalism items that we're also hoping to build: their enthusiasm, their engagement, punctuality, motivation, things of that nature. This slide provides a copy of what the student will actually be completing as their final evaluation of the preceptor and site, just so that you have awareness of what the students will be looking at. So they will be scoring the pharmacist team on whether the team had realistic expectations of them as a second or third year learner, whether or not the team is helping facilitate their incorporation into the direct patient care activities, and if you're accessible to them. We'll also be asking them whether or not a variety of questions as a quality assurance measure, not only for the site, but also for the LEAP program in and of itself, as LEAP is still a fairly new entity. So not only asking about whether or not the site was engaging and provided enough learning opportunities for this type of experience, but also we're going to get down into the specific things that we might need to change about the LEAP program, of like the student experience of, do they believe that 20 hours is a good amount? Are the pharmacist patient care processes assignments enhancing their learning and overall experience? We also ask some questions just so that we'll know whether or not they did or did not have access to patients' medical records on their site. So that really all of these are just so we can improve and learn as we go through these coming years with the process. As we close out this video training, I do want to take a moment to thank you, the preceptors, for your participation and involvement in the IPPE Longitudinal program. Your guidance, your preceptorship of these students really does have a lasting impact on their professionalism and their career trajectory. So I do thank you for your time and dedication. A couple of phone numbers and contacts if you need anything at all. The number there for the Office of External Studies, and that email at copexperiential@uky.edu is monitored every business day of the year, regardless of who's on vacation, and will be routed appropriately so that your question can be addressed in a timely fashion. However, if you have specific questions, Dr. Tara McIntosh is the faculty member with the ambulatory expertise, and I, Stacy Taylor, am more of the hospital side expertise to this team. So please reach out if you have any questions about the program or any concerns about individual students. We would be more than happy to help you. Thank you again and have a great day.